Hello, this is Sabika Syed. Welcome to the print headlines. Vijay government moves Supreme Court on Thiruparan-Kundram row. The Tamil Nadu government, headed by Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay, has moved the Supreme Court, challenging orders passed by the Madras High Court on lighting of a lamp at a stone pillar near a dargah on the Thiruparan-Kundram hill. The High Court's division bench earlier this year in January had confirmed a previous single judge bench order directing the Subramania Swamy temple management in Thiruparan Kundram to light the Kartigai Deepam at the Deepatun atop the hill, besides the usual places. George Kurian resigns as Union Minister, likely to return to Kerala politics. Union Minister of State for Minority Affairs George Kurian has resigned from the Council of Ministers after his Rajya Sabha term came to an end. President Draupadi Murmu has formally accepted his resignation. Trinamool rebels remove Mamata as the party chairperson. Rebel MLAs of the Trinamool Congress have removed party founder and former Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee from the post of chairperson at a meeting held in Kolkata. Abhishek Banerjee has been removed as party general secretary. The decision was taken by rebel MLAs led by leader of opposition Ritabrata Banerjee, who claims support of 65 out of 80 MLAs. SIT submits preliminary report to UP government in Ayodhya Ram Temple donation case. The Special Investigation Team, or the SIT, probing the alleged irregularities in donations at the Ayodhya Ram Temple, submitted its preliminary report today to the Uttar Pradesh government. The team visited the office of Additional Chief Secretary, Home, Sanjay Prasad, and handed over the report. Officials said the document is currently a preliminary report and further investigation may be required. The Uttar Pradesh government had, on June 13, constituted the SIT on a request from the Temple Trust following allegations of misappropriation of donations received at the temple. Plea claims ration linked to SIR in West Bengal. SC tells petitioner to move High Court. A plea in the Supreme Court claims the outcome of the SIR has been linked to the working of the Public Distribution System, or the PDS, and Annapurna Yojana. The Supreme Court today said petitioners must ideally move the Calcutta High Court with the plea that a West Bengal government order on June 4 effectively deprived lakhs purged from the voters list after the SIR to access to subsidized ration and nutrition. Appearing before a bench headed by Justice B.V. Nagratna, the Paschim Banga Khet Majur Samiti, an independent trade union of agricultural laborers, marginal farmers, and sharecroppers, submitted that the outcome of the SIR has been linked to the PDS and Annapurna Yojana. FIR in Lucknow building fire cites illegal commercial use, single entry exit in building where 15 died. The FIR registered over the Aliganj building fire in Lucknow that claimed 15 lives has alleged that the premises were being operated as a commercial establishment without adequate fire safety arrangements, emergency exits, and measures to prevent smoke accumulation. The FIR stated that the fire broke out around 2:30 p.m. on June 22 at the pet shop and clinic, following which firefighters, SDRF, NDRF, and police personnel carried out rescue operations. The FIR lodged at Aliganj police station under sections 105, 110, 125 of the BNS and provisions of the Uttar Pradesh Fire and Emergency Services Act names 4 accused persons and others. Piyush Goyal and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer begin talks on trade pact. Commerce and Industry Minister of India Piyush Goyal and US Trade Representative Jamieson Greer today began bilateral talks in New Delhi on issues related to the first phase of the bilateral trade agreement. Greer is in New Delhi on an official visit for the trade pact talks. Discussions aim to finalize the framework of the bilateral trade agreement, addressing recent changes in US tariffs and exploring mutual benefits in key sectors. Congress says PM Modi must stop appeasing good friend Trump, and India must not sign trade pact as it stands. With US Trade Representative Greer visiting India, the Congress today said Prime Minister Narendra Modi must stop appeasing his good friend President Donald Trump, and there is absolutely no need for India to be bamboozled into signing any trade pact which at present is heavily against its own interests. Wang Yi calls for India-China to accelerate resumption of stalled dialogue mechanisms. China's Foreign Minister and Politburo member Wang Yi, in talks with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval in New Delhi yesterday, called for both sides to accelerate the resumption of dialogue mechanisms and promote exchanges in trade, finance, and other fields. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said in a statement early today. He also called for the two sides to respect each other's core interests, properly handle sensitive issues, place the China India boundary issue in its appropriate position, and prevent it from affecting the overall situation of bilateral relations. New Lebanon-Israel talks to begin. Lebanon heads into a new round of talks with Israel today in Washington, with Beirut determined to press ahead with direct negotiations. Lebanese officials have insisted that face-to-face negotiations with Israel are the only way to secure an end to the war raging since March 2. But four rounds of Lebanese-Israeli talks since April failed to produce a durable ceasefire. Pentagon seeks $80 billion from Congress for Iran war. The Pentagon has told senators it needs roughly $80 billion, mostly to cover the cost of the US war against Iran, adding to what is already a sizable military spending boost being sought by President Donald Trump. The White House has requested a remarkable $1.5 trillion for the Pentagon, a nearly 50% increase over the current fiscal year's funding levels. JD Vance says talks with Iranian officials set good foundation for a deal to end the war. Vice President JD Vance on Monday said his lengthy talks with senior Iranian officials in Switzerland created a good foundation for a successful final deal as they seek a permanent end to the war that the US and Israel began in late February. Vance and US officials claimed progress on multiple fronts, including the establishment of mechanisms to ensure the Strait of Hormuz stays open and to address fighting between Israel and Iranian backed Hezbollah militants in southern Lebanon. Trump says, "We'll do what I have to do if Iran does not stick to the deal." US President Donald Trump has said, and I quote, "I will do what I have to do if Iran does not stick to its agreement with Washington." Trump said Iran was supposed to use the money being unfrozen to buy food exclusively from the US. Trump told reporters, and I quote, "If Iran doesn't live up to their agreement or if they're not behaving, I will do what I have to do." Iran says UN watchdog will not be allowed to inspect bombed nuclear sites. Iran said today that inspectors from the United Nations nuclear watchdog would not be given access to its nuclear sites that were bombed during the war with Israel and the US last year. Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Bakai said at a press conference in Tehran, and I quote, "We have not had a meeting with the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, nor do we have any plans for the agency to inspect Iran's nuclear facilities damaged by the US and Zionist military aggression." Francois Englert of Higgs boson fame passes away at 93. Belgian physicist and Nobel laureate Francois Englert passed away on June 18, aged 93. Englert's contributions changed the way physicists understood the fundamental nature of the universe. He is best known for his work in the early 1960s about how subatomic particles get their property of mass, for which he shared the 2013 Physics Nobel Prize alongside Peter Higgs. Micron and Anthropic signed AI infrastructure supply agreement. Micron Technology said it has signed an agreement with Anthropic that includes supply of memory and storage products and a strategic investment in the IPO-bound AI company's latest funding round. Financial terms of the supply agreement and Micron's Series H investment in Anthropic were not disclosed. Google DeepMind signs AI research deal with film studio A24. Google DeepMind and independent movie studio A24 entered into a partnership to explore how AI can support filmmakers and creative professionals. The company said the initiative will focus on helping artists develop new creative workflows and techniques while ensuring future tools are shaped by the creators who use them. Oracle workforce shrinks by about 21,000 employees amid AI adoption. Oracle's total workforce declined 13%, or about 21,000 employees, in fiscal 2026 as the cloud computing giant continued restructuring its business, partly driven by the adoption of AI across its operations. The company had a total workforce of 141,000 members as of May 31, 2026, compared with about 162,000 as of the same period last year, according to its annual report released yesterday. Jenna Ortega is an AI companion in Taika Waititi's upcoming sci-fi. Sony Pictures has unveiled the first trailer for Klara and the Sun, offering a glimpse at director Taika Waititi's adaptation of Kazuo Ishiguro's acclaimed science fiction novel. Led by Jenna Ortega, the film is set in a near future world where advanced artificial companions are created to help combat loneliness. Ortega stars as Klara, a solar powered artificial friend designed to provide companionship and emotional support to children and teenagers. Messi becomes the World Cup's all-time top goal scorer. Lionel Messi became the highest goal scorer in World Cup history after scoring his 17th and 18th tournament goals in Argentina's 2-0 win over Austria. The goals saw him surpass both Miroslav Klose and Brazil women's striker Marta and sent Argentina into the knockout stage. That's all we have for you today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest.